internet, and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday the 9th of November 2019. Happy 15th birthday to my niece Claudia, aka CK, aka Gaga. If you're watching this, I know you're not, you're at breakfast, but if you're watching this at any point in the future, happy birthday. Well, how about that, eh? 15 years of age. Far out, it's gone like this. She was born and 15 years have gone through. Unfathomable. Unbelievable. Today, folks, I'll be live for 76 minutes. 76 minutes, depending on tech. We all know about that. Looking into the chit chat, though, I want to say hello to Tim Arxgog. He's up there first. Hello to I think he's referring to me being that And I said, that's me. Tim said, g'day mate, how you going? I said, I feel good, a little tired, gonna be honest, a little tired. My daily vlogs are happening around about the 2:40, 2:44, 2:48 a.m. time, so I'm getting a broken sleep. I go to bed around 10 p.m, get a good 4 or 5 hours in, wake up, do the daily vlog, put the vlog online, do all that. Takes about 40 minutes, I'd say, all total, and then go back to bed, wake up at 7, and yeah, just a little on the tired side. I'm not gonna lie, a little on the tired side. DLE Crystal Gaming in the chit chat. DLE, hello. Woo 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 woo. How are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. Tim Arskott, time to make a fresh brew, fresh coffee. Michael in the chat. Hello and good day to everyone. Hello, Michael. How do you do? Nice to see you. Aero Gamer, morning givers. Hello, Aero Gamer. And Mindy in the chit chat. That's you know, I'm going to give out the cheeses just like we do on the D Live. We've got Tim, we've got DLE, we've got Michael, we've got Aero Gamer. That's 4 cheeses. Because everyone gets a cheers when they join the Gives a Minute YouTube chit chat. Very careful not to say D Live. Speaking of D Live, a couple of things and I guess we're doing this mainly for Tim's sake, right? Tim doesn't come across to the D Live, so this is more so for his sake. A couple of things happened this week. I surpassed 1,000 followers, which is awesome. I'm really, really pumped, and I'm also a little apprehensive about this, because if you do see my streams, you will know that D Live as a platform does suffer from troll action pretty hard. I'm not the only one that this happens to. I cop it a fair bit though, but then again, I've got a pretty welcoming stream. Like, I give everybody a chance, you know. If you want to be negative, you can be. If you want to be positive, you can be. We don't discriminate on the Gives a Minute D Live stream. Maybe that's why I get a lot of trolls. But the long and the short of it is that these trolls come in and it's only one person, I think. Somehow they make multiple accounts, almost like the click of a finger. There's an account and the follow is like a subscription here on YouTube, right? So these trolls, okay, first of all, to chat in my chat on D Live, you have to have a verified email address. So these trolls do not chat. They're not popping comments in the chit chat. Jeff Park, g'day everyone. G'day Jeff, how you going? Random, g'day Random, how do you do? I see you in the chit chat there. 2 cheers there for you guys. Good to see you. Random and Jeff Park. So yeah, they come in, but they can't chat. So what they do is, or what he does, or she, or Handle, what Handle does is they make conversation with me in the name of their handle. So they'll put up, the first thing will say like, it's me again, and then I'll get the notification. It's me again, followed the Gives a Minute D Live stream. And I'll be like, getting ready to do my spiel of the welcome. But then the very next thing will be like, aren't you getting sick of me? Just followed. And I'm here to help you, bro. And this is getting outlandish. Just followed. And tell me you love me and I'll stop. Just followed. Say you love me. I just and you know what I'm saying? Like, so they don't chat in the chat, but he comes in repeatedly. So what I'm getting at is, I'm kind of reluctant to celebrate that 1,000 follower milestone, just because I know I was at 980 before this, and we call them what they are. This dickhead. Before this dickhead came in, 980, and he got me to 1,000, and Handle got me to 1,000, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to celebrate that because we got to go at least to 1,020, and I think last night we went past that. So I'm, on the one hand, I'm stoked. And on the other hand, I'm not so stoked. But I will, what I figure, I'll wait for the weekend to complete, and then on Monday we'll do a celebratory stream. That way all the dust will have settled from the dick, right? That's my plan anyway. Also on D Live, holy crap, last night, you're lucky I'm here. I'm gonna say that I was a little scared about this, folks. I was a little scared. I drank, and again, Tim and Aero Gamer, I know you, and Tim, Aero Gamer, Jeff Park, and Random. I don't think I see you guys in the D Live. Did I mention I've got a D Live channel? I just popped the linky poo in the chit chat for you. If you want to go and have a look, I stream there daily. Last night on the D Live, we drank homebrew that could well see me out. To be extreme about it, it could kill me. And to be less extreme, it could give me a severe case of diarrhea, let's just say. But we drank that at 9 p.m. We streamed from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. So in that 4-hour block, it's now been another 12 hours pretty much since then, and I haven't had any effect. Now, what we drank here, folks, was two of these. These are the actual two that I drank. These are just empty bottles, but this is what my homebrew was in. Now, this is a 750ml bottle, and I've already Siri calculated that to be about 25 ounces. So if you're wondering what the size is, not a 40 ounce, 25 ounce. I think that's right. Hey Siri, what's 750 mils in ounces? 25 ounces, so not a 40 ouncer, 25 ounces, two of them. I see Chandy in the chit chat. Chandy Sayo, how you going, Chandy? Good to see you, man. Good to have you over here. Everyone gets a cheers when they join the YouTube Gives a Minute stream. Nice to have you, man. Now, the reason these could give me an illness is because, and I won't do the whole spiel. Like I said, we did this already on D Live, but I'm doing it for the YouTube sake as well. And then we'll get into the topic of conversation for sure. But you know what I'm saying. I've got long format streams here, so we can talk a lot. I can. If you guys want to chit chat about something, pop it in the chat. We'll dig into it. And then we'll get into the topic of conversation in a little while. I think the topic of conversation will be kind of short, but it may spark off other side spirals, if you like. So this brew. Now I've been brewing beer since I was in high school, so I know how to do it. I've done it ad nauseum, right? And you know me, I love my Jack, but I also love my homebrew beer. So this beer I'm brewing, it's a two-phase process. You have to put the beer, you put the beer down. That's what it's called, putting it down, putting a brew down. That's putting it in the fermenter, putting all the ingredients in, stirring it up, and then you just sit back and wait for a few weeks or a week and a half, and then you bottle it. That's the second process. First process of the putting down, you need to clean everything, right? So you put in the soap, you give it a big stir up, clean, get a scrubbing brush in there, make sure there's no gunk from previous brews, get it really, really clean. I've heard people using bleach. We saw old mate last night on D Live, white hair man using bleach. He might have been doing that just because he had white hair, white shirt, white kettle, white wall, white fermenter, white shorts. He had so much white going on. Good to see you all, by the way, in the chit chat. Hendrick's in the chat. Good morning, the internet. Hello, Hendrick. How do you do? Everyone gets a cheers when they join the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. When you asked for the bottle size, my son's Apple answered. Did you have a Siri going? My Siri answers with, "Hey, Siriosity." Uh-huh. I'm sorry, but I can't show you maps on HomePod. Get out of here. Anyway, and Benny Crawford's in the chit chat. Benny Crawford, woo, 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 woo. How you doing, man? Yeah, so this first process, cleaning the fermenter. Now, Benny, you'll have already heard this spiel on the D Live. I'm just repeating it for those that aren't over on D Live. It's an important thing. I may not be here tomorrow. So I clean it all out, right? Clean it all out. Then I rinse it out. And when I say rinse it, I mean absolutely rinse this thing. Like, you got to make sure this is super, super clean. Like, you don't want any soap suds to contaminate the process. So you got to make sure it's thoroughly clean. They say 3 times rinsing it entirely. I do it like 5 or 6 times. I don't want to stuff this up, right? I do it really, really thorough. And it's at that point that you then sterilize everything before you add the ingredients to make the beer. They call that the wort or the wort, W-O-R-T. So you have to sterilize everything. Now there's two ways you can do that. You can either use sodium metabisulfite, a little chemical powder mixed in with some water, stir all that crap around, make sure every surface touches it, tip it out, then you're good to go, start putting everything in. Or if you don't have that chemical, which I don't, you get that with your brew pack normally, and then once it's finished you can go and rebuy it. Or you can just use boiling water. It does the same thing, sterilizes, kills all germs. Whilst I'm doing this process, I'm listening on my laptop, which I still had at the time, a VR. Now what's a VR? It's a voice recording, much like a live stream, but it's just between two people. Me and a friend make VRs for each other where we do long format discussions, one-way discussions. In a sense, I kind of use it like a bit of practice for live streaming. It gives you a good playing field, if you like, to deliver content in a one-dimensional plane. Like I'm talking to you now, but this is kind of two-dimensional because I got the chat coming back at me. But on the VR, it's very one-dimensional because I'm not waiting for responses. I can't navigate a conversation from the VR because it's just me dictating. So me and my friend Duncan, we do this quite a lot. Duncan does it more than me. I got to be honest. He sends me more than I send him, but that's because I'm busy with my live and everything. He understands that. This particular VR I was listening to from Duncan was extremely, extremely moving. And I'm not going to bring it in what it is. He's not here on the YouTube. He's on my D Live as Buzz Kingo. But it was very touching, and he was talking about a position he was in a number of years ago where some very, very harsh things happened to him and some friends and this and that. And I was kind of, I was going through some shit myself, and I'm not going to talk about that. I'm done with those people and that situation, but I was dealing with it. And what I'm listening to with Duncan was really affecting me, so much so that I started tearing up. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I was tearing up while I was making this brew, listening to what Duncan was telling me. So much so that I went from cleaning the fermenter into the kitchen, came back with the wort, and started pouring it into the fermenter while still listening to this VR. And as I'm pouring it, I'm thinking, something's wrong. Shit. Oh, shit. I forgot to sterilize. And it's going in like I'm tipping it in, and this brown molassesy malty brew is pouring in and it's filling up the bottom. And I'm like, at one point I kind of went, and if I was on D-Live, I'd curse. Oh, you can swear on YouTube? Fuck it. I'll keep going. And I just thought, I'm committed now. I'm in. I'm going for it. I'm making it. This is the first time I'm making a brew without sterilizing the fermenter. And so that's what happened. I didn't sterilize the fermenter, and I went ahead and made the whole brew and put it down, fermented it. It fermented perfectly. Added the yeast, it sugared, everything went together nicely. We bottled it a number of weeks ago. It's been a month and a half since I bottled. That's a well enough time to open them. So last night on the stream, I opened up 2 and drank them, and a little on the bitter side, but homebrew, tasted like homebrew. Bit frothy, maybe too much sugar in the bottle for a secondary fermentation. That gives you the carbonation in the bottle. Maybe just a slight too much. But I feel fine. Nothing yet going downstairs. There's no excavation. There's no fire alarm on downstairs. No one saying, "Get out, all of you, out you go on. Don't worry about orderly fashion. Just all of you come out at the same time. And then when you think you're all done, the rest of you come out a little while later. And by the way, there's no time frame here. You can come out whenever you want. Just come on out. There you go. Go on. Go. You want some more? Come on out. You come. All of you. Go on. Hasn't happened yet. I haven't had any mass excavations yet. That's not to say that won't happen right here on the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. So if this happens, if I'm talking to you and all of a sudden that happens, you can assume I've gone to the bathroom extremely urgently. And ideally I could grab my microphone and turn it around into the bathroom and still chat with you. But then again, who would want to watch a poo stream? Nobody, right? That being said, let's bring in the chit chat. I'm just being honest with you, folks. I'm just being straight down the line here. There's no reason to be coy about this, is there? We've all had near misses. In fact, I've had 5 no misses. I've had 5 times where I have pooed myself in my adult life. We can talk about that another time. In the chit chat, Aero Gamer way back up said, "Oh, Tim asked, how's the weather down there south in Williamston?" Willie. And Aero Gamer says, blue skies, cracking day ahead, but it's Melbourne, could change in the blink of an eye. We know that about Melbourne town, right? Could change in the blink of an eye from that season to the next season and back again. Chandy Sayer, good morning, everyone. Yeah, there you go. Hendrik, good morning, the internet, Hendrik. Chandy, Hendrik, hello, Mindy, Aero Gamer. Yeah, bottle size answered. Yeah, gotcha. Good morning, good evening, all. Benny, cool. Travel Jet Setter in the chit chat. Jet Setter, how you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. Tim Arscott, Benon, a current affair had a story on people not getting good customer service from Apple and its resellers over faulty products like monitors and laptops. Apple really copped it. I'll have to check that out, Hendrik. I don't watch that show. I loathe it, to be honest. I can't stand that Today Tonight, a current affair crap. It's just the bottom level of television. Television's already down here in my mind. And when I say television, I'm not talking about series that premiere or that showcase on television. I'm talking about the concept of television, the concept of regular scheduled programming with commercials sliced in between the programs, sliced into the programs and in between. I think this notion of television is completely wrong, and I haven't watched television in near on 15 years, to be honest. I haven't owned an antenna. I don't have an antenna in this place. I haven't had an antenna in my last place. I didn't have an antenna in the place I was in Adelaide in 2013 with my ex. I didn't have an antenna in the place that I was in before that in Glenelg. That was from 2004 through 2011 or 12. I didn't have an antenna in the place before that in Adelaide, which was the Esplanade, Glenelg. I didn't have an antenna, and that was 2002. I didn't have an antenna in Surrey Hills when I lived in there briefly, and that was in 2000. Like I'm talking, I haven't had terrestrial over-the-air television since at least 2000, and I'm not missing anything, am I? But I will check that out because they do have a YouTube page, right? No poo stream, please. TM. TM? What does TM stand for, Michael? 10 letters. Good morning, Bennett, and all in here on a beautiful day here in Melbourne. 10 letters. 10 letters. I don't think I remember if we've seen you before. I was going to say I don't think we've seen you before, but then as I was saying it, I was thinking, I do recognize that handle. Been a while, 10 letters. How you doing? Good to see you, by the way. Taser. Tim says, Taser's in the chat. Taser Urbex from the UK. Taser. Hey, I got something for you, man. My sister was in your town recently, and look what she got me. Yeah! For the review ski, Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey, whoop, 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 lemonade. This is only available in the UK, and so is this. She brought me 3 of those, and she some way unexplicably brought me one of these, which is also this is the UK version of Lynchburg lemonade, only available in the UK, this format. But I can't review this because she only brought one of them, so that's just going to be looked at and admired. Benny Crawford, I bought a Fitbit HR last Sunday, Tim. Worked for 3 days fine. Charge ran out 4 days early, and now the heart monitor does not work, and they're blaming it on iOS 13 updates. Crap. Look, I'm very, very reluctant to update any of my Apple products, particularly ones that I use daily, which is, aside from my HomePod, I use my iMac daily. I use my phone daily, and I use it for production. So if I updated to Catalina and suddenly Wirecast didn't work, well, what would I have to do? Roll back everything back to, what am I on? Not Mavericks. I don't even know what I'm on right now. The oldest one, right? Not the oldest one. I'll tell you. I've got it right here about this Mac. I am on Mojave, so I'd have to roll back to Mojave 14.6, 10.14.6. Faffy Day in the chit chat. Faffy Day. How you going, man? Not TM, TMI. Oh, too much information. Gotcha. I couldn't see it because of the exclamation point. Gotcha. Folks, let's go into the discussion point, but let's get there by something, something a little Well, you know how my Wave a Day project's finished. It's concluded for the spring. So I'm currently putting together the Waves of Spring compilation. That's going to be probably this week sometime that'll come out. Maybe today. The swell is crap. By the way, Benny, what's the swell like at your house right now? It's crap right here. Very small, southwesterly, which is usually a cold wind. It's kind of cold here, like 12 degrees last night. Anyway, a Wave a Day has concluded for spring. So I'm now in the process of formulating the summer edition, which is going to be in January. So it's not going to be in November or December. Hang on, November, December. It's going to be in February, folks. So there's going to actually be a 3-month gap. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I have surfed December, I've surfed January of the summer months, but I've never surfed the February month of summer. So I'm doing February. That's coming up, and I've got the plan is not to hit my local break, to hit a different break. That's just a little tip. And go north. Hendrik can't stand a current affair either. Yeah, I think all those programs, and look, I don't want to bring up old mates and old friends, but when you see the caliber of the crew involved in that show and in those shows, it's second-rate journalism. It's almost the equivalent of a clickbait video on YouTube. It's sensationalist rubbish. Doesn't affect your life any way, shape, or form. Yet people swear by it. I don't get it. My life hasn't changed, and I haven't watched it since, like I said, before 2000. But I will watch that report just to see how sensationalist it's made. I bet they bring up, and Apple don't pay all their taxes in the United States. Well, Apple do pay all their taxes that they legally have to pay. They just use the loopholes that are existing to not pay as much as they should, but they still pay what they required. I heard someone mention that the other day on a podcast. They were like, Apple have an accountant, just like you have an accountant. Your accountant is legally obliged and financially reimbursed by you to pay your taxes. Legally, the required amount you have to pay by law. Now, it's his job or her job to find out the least amount of tax that you have to pay legally. And that's what Apple do. They take their accountant and they scale it up because they're in the billions of dollars, and they work out the most legal way to pay the least amount of tax. If that means manufacturing the Mac Pro in Mexico, then they'll do that. If that means doing offshore help desks, they'll do that. But they'll do whatever they can to lower that tax that they have to pay legally. Now, they're talking about changing the laws to make these things illegal, and then you can have the discussion, Apple's not paying taxes. But I bet a current affair bring that up. I bet they do. Sensationalists. Did you know the Apple Watch and the iPhone that you use and your son and daughter uses is a tax scam? We'll have more after the break. I'm Trisha Takanara. What's her name? That's Family Guy. What's her name? I'm Jodie Cringshaw. I'm Trisha Grimshaw. I'm Tracy Grimshaw. I'm Tracy Grimshaw. We'll be right back. It's just crazy. It's stupid how that can be television. If that can be television, I could have a television show, right? It's just crazy. Nuts. Almost guaranteed that Wirecast won't work on Catalina. Right, Hendrik? Well, I'm not using it then. Good. I'm not touching it. And it only just works right here. So touch wood, it stays working. Benny, it's small and windy. Yeah, that's the same here. Michael, aka ACA, A Current Affair, is rubbish. This is the show we're talking about. I think you should do a wave in a day here. You'll get to see horrible polluted waves and me freezing my ass off in a bikini. Taser, if you wear a bikini, I'll come to the UK just to shoot a wave with you, man. Hendrik, all you need to do is Google his name. Simple. Yeah, that's very true. If you want to, yeah, I mean, we never talked about that at his request, and there's no point in me bringing it up now. I don't need to discuss anything. That's his history. That's not my history. But we did discuss that on a personal basis, his scenario, and I just said, look, dude, we won't ever bring that up if you don't want us to. But you've obviously got your side of the story, and then the law has their side of the story. So, but yeah, if you wanted to, and we don't even need to talk about who it is, right? Because we know and whatever. Mayunis, wow! But folks, the point I was getting at is the super quick wave a day has also concluded for the season of spring. Now, there was a lot of interest, again, in the Daydreamers, which is the track or the artist that I used on The Wave a Day. The song was, this time I used the song Sea of Tranquility, but I used a separate version from the EP release. I used the alternate outro version of it for this release. Everybody's asking me, where can we get it? Where can we get it? Where can we get the Daydreamers? And I put out a call to Paul, arguably like the band leader, if you like, only because the other members of the band are that apathetic that they don't care. They probably don't even know that this stuff is now getting a global reach. But Paul does. Paul's interested. Let's have a listen to the Sea of Tranquility, and then I want to tell you where you can get it, because Paul has made this available now. So I want to show you that, and we'll go from there. And that's how we'll sort of slide on over the waves into the topic of discussion about YouTube and the studio beta. Welcome back to the Slightly Random Daily Song! A Wave a Day Spring Edition 2019 has concluded, and there was many questions about the song. So I thought it would be appropriate right here, right now, to play the entire piece for you. Now, you are aware it's the Daydreamers. The Daydreamers was my friends back in 2003 or 2004. This is not the EP that track is lifted from. Unfortunately, I only have this hard copy of the 5-track EP, which we've already seen here on the Slightly Random Daily Song before, but that's the only physical disc I've ever been sent from the Daydreamers. Of course, there's plenty of other music from the Daydreamers, but nothing on a hard disc. So I'm showing you this just to show you something, but it's not from this disc. Multiple tracks recorded by this band. This one's called Sea of Tranquility. However, the version I've used is an alternate ending. So you're not even gonna hear the actual song, you're gonna hear the alt outro version. Interesting side note, one of the lyrics in the song is, "Can't see the horizon line." And that's very much the case right now today. There's this big hazy mist. Look at the sea mist up this end of the beach. Look at the sea mist all the way down here. I can't see the horizon line. I can't find distance over time. So that being said, let me pop you down here. I think the angle's gonna be, I think that's gonna be an appropriate angle for the Daydreamers, not from this EP. Sea of Tranquility, alt outro, the Daydreamers. think? The Daydreamers, Sea of Tranquility, the alternate outro, not from this EP, but nonetheless a great track. Cool stuff, eh? Can't see the horizon line still, can't find distance over time. Amazing stuff, I hope you enjoyed that. Now look, while I sit down and listen to the actual version, not the alt outro version, try to work out what the differences there are, you guys can go back to the live stream. This is really a shame. Such a crying shame. No one's gonna get a chance. Oh crap, I'm live. Whoopsie, whoopsie. I was too busy looking at the EP, folks. The Daydreamers EP here. This is, well, oddly enough, this EP isn't the one that song comes from. Unfortunately, this EP just had 5 tracks on it. The Daydreamers EP, Walking and Falling Over, Easy Way, I Like Waking Up, Blackbird Fly, and We'll Be There Tonight. To answer Aero Gamer's chat message, hey Benon, are the earlier Wave a Day songs also from the Daydreamers? Yes, they are actually. Every Wave a Day song I've used has been from the Daydreamers. And sadly, I just went and had a conversation I had with Paul Walsh, who is one member of the Daydreamers. Like I said, arguably, you know, the man, if you like, to talk to. I went and had a look at his message. We had a discourse about this because he's thrilled that everyone's enjoying the music, right? And I said, well, do you want me, and with permission, can I re-release all this stuff? Can I? Because I got this EP, but I've also got all the other stuff where that track came from. And also, Michael, is that song playing at the right speed? It feels a bit slow to me. That song definitely sounds slowed down. It's not. I had a listen on the stream. I've got a little got my phone here playing the stream on a separate internet connection, so I see what you guys see, and I cranked it up, and it's fair call. It does sound like a slow tempo, but that is the tempo. That is the tempo. Let it go. Slow and low. That is the tempo. Yeah, that's the tempo of that track. But nicely spotted. So yeah, I've got all the songs that they've given me over the years, and I suggested to Paul, can I re-release this? Like, can I put them all together and make a 12 or 13 song album, 2019 edition of the Daydreamers, and I'll remaster it, like give the EQ some bumps and, you know, tailor the tracks in and out and do all that stuff. I'd do that off my own will, just because I'd like you guys to have them, and then give it to you all for free. Or you can start selling the music because people are offering to buy it, right? People are saying, where can we buy it? Why can't we get it on iTunes? So he went ahead, and unfortunately, I just went and had a look at this. He went ahead and told me he has a Bandcamp page set up. So if we go and have a look at that, this is what the Bandcamp page looks like. No tracks here yet. Please log in to add some. So he's basically registered this URL, the Daydreamers Bandcamp, but not put anything on the page, which is a crying shame. It means you guys will never get a chance to hear it unless I confirm with Paul that I can put something together. And I would love to. Let's put the chat back up. I would love to do that for you all, but it's up to Paul really to decide that. So back in the chat, Michael says you won't be able to see the horizon line here. Could I find distance over time though? Horrible, not sea mist, it's the smoke from the bushfires. Yeah, you guys have been having some nasty fires up that way, the Blue Mountains. And I see Michael says, Tim Arskog in Sydney, fires in the Blue Mountains, yeah. Oh, you're on a train going over the mountains last night? Okay, that's a nice train ride. I quite like that trip. Tim says he heard the police have found the remains of bodies in the fire zone of a person they believe was murdered and dumped. Shit, I mean, if you are going to murder someone and dump their body, I guess a bushfire would be the optimum time to do that, wouldn't it? Aero Gamer, I answered your question. Tim says they also believe a number of the fires were deliberately lit. That's worse than trolling, right? That's people that light bushfires in Australia should be locked. They should be locked up. As many fires started within a short time, relatively close to each other. Tim says, Benon, I think I've found a case of sexual discrimination in the lighting industry. You can buy fairy lights, but not lesbian lights. Oh my goodness gracious, Tim. You heard it there, folks, from Uncle Tim right there. let's bump into this topic of conversation. So when I decided to make this stream and I titled it, "Why does YouTube promote the studio beta so much?" I was thinking that could go two ways. Like, why does YouTube promote the studio beta so much? Or why does YouTube promote the studio beta so much, right? All like this studio beta that's coming out, whenever it comes out, it's been promoted for so long. I'm going to argue and say we're talking almost 2 years now they've been talking about this, right? Making changes to the studio beta. It's got to be the longest beta rollout of anything. 2 years? Now, the question I have to the chat, why have they done this? Why has YouTube decided to carefully and so strategically roll this thing out, drip feeding it to the public, when a lot of other companies bring out a product, whether they've got the thing on the market already and you're using it and then there's an update, they seed out the beta releases to developers for a period of a month or two until they nut out the nuts and bolts and make sure it works, and then public release. Much like the iOS updates, right? They do a developer release, and only if you're an Apple developer can you access that. Why? And I'm willing to take calls here, folks. If you want to call in, I just put the Discord call chat there message. If you want to call in, let me. You know what? I'll just open up the Discord as well, just to. If you call in and I'm not there, that'll be pretty lousy. But I've opened up the Discord, and if you want to call in, we can certainly do that. The message is in. Benny Crawford. I don't even know what it is. First I've heard of it. Benny, really? Wow, dude. So if you're a YouTube creator and you follow any of the YouTube, oh crap. Wow, did you guys hear that? That was crazy. I hope you guys didn't hear that. I heard it and it didn't sound good. Hopefully it's resolved. Yeah, if you're a YouTube creator and you're on any of the YouTube official platforms, such as Creator Insider, in fact, let's go and have a look at Creator Insider. They've been promoting this for 2 freaking years. Always updates to the studio beta updates. Mind you, remember, we're getting rid of the classic. We're getting rid of the classic. We're getting rid of the classic. We're bringing out the beta. We're bringing out the beta. Any other company would just go, you know what? We've brought out a new product. We've tested it with our developers for the last 2 months. Here it is. Enjoy it. YouTube have been like drip feeding it to everybody. And now they're almost forcing you to use a beta piece of software to the point where when you log in, it takes you to the beta, not to the classic. Now, look, let me be clear. I love it. Oh, here we go. Whoa, we got someone in the chit chat. Benny and Barry Gaza. How you going, Benny?
Hello.
Whoa, I'm going to just turn you down slightly, man. I got you there, bro. I got you there. How you going, buddy?
Hang on.
I turned you down. That's all cool. That's all cool. Can you hear me?
Hang on. I have Inception.
Oh, you got Stream Inception? Okay, understood. I just popped this up on the screen.
Microphone is working?
I can hear you, yeah. So you sound good at my end. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Okay, I'll keep talking until you can hear me, but I can see Barry Gaza and I can see Benny12C in the chit chat. So nice to have you guys here, folks. I hear noise. Barry, can you hear me? Nope. Benny, can you hear me? Okay, I can see both of those crew there. So I'll just keep chatting until they come. You'll see their little avatar pop up here. Hopefully, if this thing works. It hasn't worked once before. I don't understand why it wouldn't work, but I can hear you, Benny. He can't hear me. That's classic. I can hear you, Benny. Okay, we'll just keep chatting until Benny gets his stuff together, but we can hear him there.
Hello.
There he is, Benny. How you going? Benny, can you hear me? He can't hear me again. Interesting. I popped out.
Sorry.
It was Inception. Okay. So I'll just keep. Benny, when you can hear me, you let me know, but I can still hear you. So you need to have your headphones in your Discord, not headphones from the stream. So yeah, they're bumping you into the Creator Studio beta without you even signing up to the beta. Interestingly, they've also rolled out a new terms of service agreement, which I haven't read yet, but I'm gonna speculate that that terms of service would probably say you accept enrolling into our beta program by clicking this button, because I wouldn't, like, let's say Wirecast said we've got I'm on version 12 here of Wirecast. Let's say they said we got version 14, and by the way, because you downloaded the previous version, you have signed up to automatically enroll into the beta of 14. Hell no, I would not do that. Taser, I'll tell you what else I hate at the moment. I hate seeing like 4.5k instead of 4,500. Yeah, that's depressing, Taser, because we all. Here's the thing: we got told a long time ago from many different creators that numbers were unimportant. Subscriber counts irrelevant, view counts irrelevant. But then when they changed the number, the whole community was up in arms about it. Oh, we want to see the full number. I thought numbers were irrelevant. All the big creators like Daryl Eves and Peter McKinnon, they were all saying, don't worry about the numbers, don't get so concerned with the numbers. And the moment they changed it, everyone was angry about it. It's like, huh. But I agree with you, Taser. I don't think they should have changed it. Benny, can you hear me, dude?
Yes, I think.
Okay, I got you there, man. I can hear you. You can hear me?
Hang on, Discord's asking me to log in. I'm just got to sort that out.
Okay, cool. You do that. I can hear you, though. Everything seems fine at my end, but you do what you got to do.
Sweet.
Michael, I hadn't heard about the beta, but I'm not a creator. Yeah, and what'll happen, Michael, that's an interesting point. Once the beta finally gets out of beta, you'll be bumped onto it as well as a viewer. So there'll be a format change, like a layout change. Let's actually cruise across to their Creator Insider page. If we go up here, I've already typed it in, Creator Insider. This will get us to their YouTube channel, which is just here. And I would like to...
So who is Creator Insider?
I'd like to pause that. That's very loud, Creator Insider. I'd like to just do a quick search over here for Studio Beta. And let's just see how many videos they've made on it and when they started making them. Because this is... Okay, there's one from 1 month ago. There's 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. 6 months ago. 9 months ago. 2 years ago. YouTube Studio Beta sneak peek. 8 months ago. 9 months ago, 9 months ago, 6 months ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, 8 months ago, 3 months ago, 5 months, 2 years ago. So what I'm saying is, and as you can see from say this one here, YouTube Studio Update, 2 years ago they started talking about this. 2 years ago. It's a long time to have a beta, and then to not only that, but to force you onto it. So why are they doing this? That's the question. Why are they doing it? Benny, can you hear me now? That's very strange. I can literally see you, and we've heard you. So everything's good at my end. But if you can't,
Hang on.
there you go. Yeah. Just ignore everything you see on the screen and just talk to us, because we can hear you and you can hear me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just ignore everything that, like, don't even look at your screen, just talk to us, because we can hear you. We've been able to hear you the whole time.
Oh, and I've been trying to work this out, and I'd already worked it out. This is crazy.
Okay. So, ignoring that little flaw in the Discord, what are your thoughts on why YouTube why have they been so careful to drip feed this to their creators? What's the deal with that?
As I said in the chat, first I've heard of it, Ben.
Okay. What if you've just heard of it now? What would be your thoughts? Like, why do you, if you just heard this information for the first time, what could you speculate would be the reason for YouTube doing this? Just hypothetically.
Oh, they're trying to catch up to date or do something because they're far behind, and they're going to have to do something.
Okay, we did lose you briefly there for a moment. You said they've got to catch up to who? Who do they got to catch up to?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. That's just a bandwidth issue. I think your internet just dropped out momentarily. You said they've got to catch up to someone.
Okay, yeah. Oh, they've got to catch up to D-Live.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
That's where the future is. So...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go that route, but I kind of agree with you. There are changes that DLive have brought out that are certainly nothing to do with the Creator Studio or anything, but the changes that DLive have, well, just the very core of the DLive site is so fundamentally different to YouTube that in some ways YouTube might think they need to be doing something proactive and different in order to maintain their position. Good point, Benny. I don't think that there's a real threat to YouTube from DLive at this point. I could be wrong.
No, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just,
Yeah, you're just speculating that's. Yeah, I understand. I see what you're saying. Well, let me ask you this: as a viewer of YouTube, what things would you like to see? Like, do you think when you go onto your app, either on your phone or on an iPad or on the desktop, what are some key features that you think are missing from that YouTube experience?
well, straight up, if I look at your stream on my iPhone 7, I can't see. It doesn't show me a button where the chat is, so I can't be involved in the chat.
Gotcha.
So I have to be on the PC to be involved in the chat.
I gotcha. So I'm looking at my screen right now, and now this is probably a bad example. If I bring this out to here, we'll just wait for the stream to catch up. But this chat that I'm pointing at here on this separate phone is my hard-coded embedded chat. So what Benny is referring to is this screen now. And if I tap the screen, you do see the last chat comment pop up down here, I think, or on this side, but you don't see the full chat. So I understand what you're saying there. Now,
yeah, they could improve that.
Right. And that's why, that's a lot of the time, that's why I pop the chat up on the screen hard-coded so that it's there for future if you wanted to go back and see it. If the chat sort of disappeared from the YouTube playback, at least it's hard-baked into the stream itself. What's the difference there on DLive? I've never really looked at the phone. Is there constant chat messages popping up?
With DLive, I can't work out where the donation thing is to put on my phone. So
Interesting.
I think.
Okay. Taser in the chat says, I tell you what, that's the number thing, but he said, Tim asks a great question. Is there a main info page for what YouTube are trying to bring in, like a master beta site? Unfortunately, Tim, there isn't, and it is just what we've been given. The beta studio is the beta studio, and you're not opting in. You're just being forced in. That's the thing. That's what I don't like about it. Like, look, I love the changes they've brought out. I love using it. All of it except for the live dashboard. The live dashboard is criminal. And I'll explain why it's criminal very, very simply. I just explained how I use Wirecast, and you know about Wirecast and you know about OBS that I use on DLive. Well, I don't touch the YouTube Studio Beta aside from setting the stream up last night, 12 hours ago, making the thumbnail, making the description, putting the tags in, getting it ready, setting it to go live at 9 a.m. I do all that in the studio, right? And then closes that down. I come across to Wirecast. Now, this is how most studio streaming software works. You go in and you've already punched in your RTMP server and your credentials. So it pulls the information from YouTube. Now, it pulls the most current stream that you've got waiting. And in my case, it's always the one from the night before. So, and when I was doing daily in July, I'd have that one that would pull it in straight off the top. Then the next, when I finished the stream, I'd go in and make the next thumbnail. And so that Wirecast would pull the next one in straight off the top. And what YouTube have done, bless their cotton socks, I don't know why.
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Toward homebrew, cheers.
Fanny Crawford, thank you, man. You're in the chit chat. You're in the donations. Thank you, dude. Towards homebrew, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. And I'll definitely make sure I sterilize that one. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. By the way, you could also you could say that now in the stream. Like you could do towards homebrew. Do it in her accent if you can.
Towards homebrew.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. Thank you, man. So yeah, what YouTube have done in their infinite wisdom in the new Live Now streaming dashboard, you have to go into the dashboard and click a button that says Start Stream. And then when you're finishing the stream, you have to go back in. You've got to, like, you're using software right now to navigate the stream. You've got to go then to a browser, go to your YouTube channel, go to the live dashboard, and click a button to stop streaming. Absolutely ridiculous. That's what software is for. That's what an RTMP server is for. You pull that information in, you use and in my case, I use a Stream Deck. This thing controls my entire stream. You can see, it's upside down, but you can see this button right here. This button is playing the stream. So that runs the entire stream in its entirety to the point where it brings in my outro music at the 76-minute mark, 30 seconds to go, and I know that the stream's ending. Now what YouTube are telling me is I can still do that, but then to end the stream, I've got to go, quick, navigate back to YouTube, end stream. Get out of here, YouTube. That's ridiculous. And that's one thing that they've done, which I despise. In the chit chat, I'm just checking up what I've missed. So there was one comment. Go ahead, Benny.
What is Beta Studio? Can you explain what it is, please?
Okay, so Beta anything is a release of a product, usually software, but it can be hardware, usually software, that hasn't been finalized for what the public will be getting. So a company will they'll utilize a core member of their community, their purchasers, the people that are going to use it, and those people will test the software extensively, doing what the company wants the software to do, and they'll usually report back. Often it's for an incentive, for a financial incentive, so that the product then becomes 100% suitable for the description. And what I can't understand, and I've got a speculation here, but what I can't understand, why this has gone on so long, and why YouTube are they're using all of their subscriber base as developers for no payment. So if you wanted to opt into this, you should have been able to opt in and say, well, I think the Creator Studio, the existing one, is okay, but there are things that need to be fixed, and I would like to provide that feedback and be reimbursed for my time to get that product to the public, and then we'll release it as public. But they haven't done that. But I want to highlight, Michael made a comment a while back. He said 5 years Gmail was in beta. Good point, Michael. Same company too. Google owns YouTube. Did they roll that out a public beta, or was it beta in development with developers? Because that's the big difference here. YouTube are forcing you and I and anybody else that's a creator to be their developer testing this software. Very strange. DLE Crystal Gaming says, I wish YouTube would stop uploading all the time. They keep making so many bugs. You mean updating? Yes. There are some bugs in there for sure. Taser says, I thought the idea was to simplify it and make it user-friendly. Exactly, Taser. What software do you use when you're streaming? Is this going to be a problem for you that you've got to then go back into your browser, into your studio, and press start streaming? I think that's criminal. And I made a very scathing tweet to YouTube, and they said they addressed it as well. I can't recall what the answer was, but it wasn't like we're going to look into this and fix it. Okay, DLive. You can just slide right and chat. So on DLive, Aerogamer says, you slide right to the left and the chat pops up. Now, he said Clive, but I'm pretty sure he meant DLive. Okay, cool. Will Kenyon says, I'm on Android and I can see the full stream. Am I missing something? You're on Android and you can see the chat as well as the stream. And I don't mean the hard-baked chat. I mean the actual overlay from YouTube. And he said, with chat. Okay, that's interesting. Are you seeing the chat that's here on the screen, Will? Or are you, like, if I went back out of here and popped that on, you don't see the chat, right, Will? Let me know as a goodwill gesture. Okay, here we go, Michael. According to Slate article about Gmail having a long beta, the Google take is that the beta label better conveys the constant feature refinement consumers expect from web-based applications. Well, I'd argue that, because Benny, would you buy something that you know wasn't finished? And I know you're not buying Gmail and you're not buying YouTube, but would you pay for something that wasn't finished?
Yeah, what you're talking about is they're making it durations on a product that they don't know works properly, and using the public as a way of finding out without paying them.
Yep.
I mean, they should do their own research, work it out, and then bring the product out.
That's right. They should.
I mean, the
internal development. That's what it's for.
The Fitbit that I bought last Saturday was working fine for 3 days. Now it doesn't work. You know, the heart monitor, it doesn't work. And I paid nearly $200 for it.
Jeez.
So, and they're blaming it on Apple because it doesn't link to the, so.
Wow. So Apple updated their iOS software, and the Fitbit that links back to it doesn't talk to it now? Wow.
No, it doesn't. The heart rate doesn't link up with it. Everything else does, but
not heart rate, which is pretty fundamental for a Fitbit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So either way, I'm going to go back to Officeworks and possibly swap it for a different one.
Yeah, fair enough. Michael did confirm there that Gmail was a public beta. There you go, folks. So Google have a history of doing this. I didn't know that, Michael. Thanks for that little tip. Taser says, I feel like there will be some pretty big YouTube competitors coming up soon. The disdain that creators have had with YouTube changes over the past few years has already pushed people off the platform. It's only a matter of time. I tend to agree with you, man. I tend to agree with you. There are definitely some changes that have rolled out that have made people go, what, really? And I've said it clearly, like many times, that YouTube don't really care about the creator. They care, and this is why I think that they've done this public beta for so long. They care about the advertisers because that's where the money comes from. The money doesn't come from the creators. The money comes from the advertisers. Now, you could argue that to have creators, you need advertisers, and to have advertisers, you need creators, for sure. But the equilibrium balance here is way, way, way in the favor of the advertisers. Like, by a long shot, to the point where the advertisers say something and YouTube say, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, and they make changes based on what the advertiser said. It's contradictory because those same advertisers that won't want to run an ad in front of a video talking about, I don't know, let's say a Hitler documentary. They won't run an ad there, but then you'll go and flick on the mainstream television, if you have one, and you'll see like a Sunday afternoon documentary on Hitler, and there'll be the same ads that roll on YouTube roll on the television. So it's like, what? But YouTube just bow down to them and say yes. And this is what I think they've done. The reason they've gone so long with this beta is to appear to be doing something for the creators. They're like, well, look, we've just spent over 2 years rolling out this beautiful new studio experience for you, the creators. You can't argue that we're not looking after you. And they've dragged it out so long. They've told us about it for so long and dragged it out. And I think at the beginning of next year, they're going to be like, well, Studio Classic, the regular experience, is going away permanently, and you have to use the new studio. And they'll drop the term beta, and it will just be called YouTube Studio. My argument is that they should do that behind closed doors like any other company. You don't see Apple rolling out software and hardware drips and drabs, product updates, asking you, we just rolled out a new a new phone update. Can you just all check it, make sure it works for the next 2 months or 2 years and report back? It's comical. Hey, it's comical.
Yes, they need to work on those pop-up desks.
The pop-up desks, you know what? If they brought that out, I'd buy one, even if it was in beta. Do you know what Benny's referring to there, snazzy, folks? We watched the announcement. Was it WWDC? I think it was WWDC announcement in July.
It's pretty funny.
And Apple had this table, this desk that just appeared from out of the floor. They had a demo guy walk on, and as he walked, you saw him walking from the left, and this desk just went and sat there. It was beautifully machined edges. It looked like a massive Apple TV on stilts. And I was like, just bring that table out and I'll buy one. Very funny. Taser says, I use OBS Streamlabs. Don't use it often though, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's a pain to keep an eye on everything without having to do something on YouTube. Yeah, totally. And if you're running a stream as a one-man show like I am, there are so many things to be considered. Like right now, like I want to pull up this and have this work, but it's not. For some reason, this right here should see the avatars from Discord, but for some reason they're not there. So, and I can't go back in and try to bug that and fix it. I've got to just get rid of it because it's not working. Hey Benny, while you're here, did you end up getting that artwork to Shyla Rose?
Yes, she has received her painting. She's pretty happy with it.
Very cool. Folks, I'm going to grab it now just while we got Benny on the line, but this is what Benny made for me. I'm just getting it off the wall here, Benny. I did have this on the wall. Look at this. I'll make this big so that you guys can all see it too. Look at that. Beautiful stuff, Benny. Beautiful stuff. And actually, my sister asked me, she said, do you really want to have a picture of yourself on your wall? And I was like, well, it's facing outside. It's facing the ocean. So it's not too bad. But I know what she meant. Like a picture of me in my own room. I think I look hideous, but if that's what I look like, then that's what I've been given. Can't blame God for that. Okay.
That's a birthday present. I'm glad you like it, mate.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And everybody that doesn't know, Benny is an artist. And Benny, if you wanted to pop your link, have you got your link set up yet? Or because I noticed on your business card there wasn't one.
No, look, this is the thing. I need to put my dreams into play and actually execute them. I'm nearly there.
We've all been in that situation. You've got to put your dreams into play. Hey, by the way, Will Kenyon said, just to answer my question, he said with the full screen camera, so this scene here, and without the hard baked chat, I could still see the chat overlay from YouTube. And Will did say he's on Android and he can still see the full stream. Am I missing something? See, that's the thing. I guess cross-platform. There's conflicting.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, and now you've just ruined it for all of the Apple users. Now Apple, So there's multiple platforms in here, and they are not all the same. DLE Crystal Gaming, speaking from Apple, I have an update from them. I've got updates every day. I log in, not just from my iPad. So I use my iPad as my secondary monitor here, and every time I go to start streaming, there's an update to it, and I'm like, nah, not updating it. It's going to kill something. It works. Fingers crossed. Don't do anything. Taser says, from my point of view, they also need to work better with non-ad friendly creators because normal TV has more adult content on it and it still has adverts. Exactly. With what I do, it's tough to continue. Taser, would you say your content is not ad friendly? Really? Urbex is something that YouTube does not support. Wow. And Tim said, great facsimile. Tim, come on, man. Did you see that comment, Benny?
It's all good.
Tim, so Uncle Tim, come on, Uncle Tim, relax. So I don't know, just to sort of wrap this idea up. My thoughts are the reason that YouTube have done this is to appear to be appeasing the creators. We know that they don't really do that. They look after their top creators, such as your Caseys and your bloody. What's his name? I always forget the Canadian guy. It's the photographer, the Canadian gentleman. I can never remember this guy's name. The guy that Cody Warner hung out with and got a bump. Peter McKinnon. They bumped these crew, right? These crew, arguably, why would Casey Neistat need to be in the trending tab? There's so many creators that could benefit greatly from being in the trending tab. In fact, I got a little in the studio beta. I got a notification last month, and it said your revenue, your AdSense revenue for this month is down from last month because your videos were not shown to as many people. Now this is one of the new things that they're rolling out, like easy to understand analytics and diagnostics. But the wording, it said something like, I try to remember it word for word. It said your AdSense revenue from last month is down over last month because your videos were not shown to as many people. And so the next thing that I said to myself was, well then why didn't YouTube show it to more freaking people? I can't control that. All these things that they roll out, all these analytics and A/B testing for thumbnails and try to do this to make your video. We can't control any of that, and that's why I don't really look so deep into the studio beta, because all of these analytics mean absolutely nothing if your content isn't getting shown to the right people. Now, my content got shown to the right people 2 years ago when full face snorkel masks were in the news. They were they were being criticized. People were dying. There were 2 deaths in Hawaii. I made a video called One Thing Wrong with the CView 180. So the CView 180 is a searchable term, and suddenly one thing wrong. Oh shit, what's the one thing wrong with it? People are dying from it. Let's watch that video. And that video got recommended and pumped out and shown. But then for some reason, YouTube just decided we won't show that video to crew anymore. I used to get 5,000, 4,000 views a day on that video. And now I'm lucky if I get 1,000 on that same video. So I don't understand I can't do anything, but they tell you your ad revenue is down over last month because your video wasn't shown to as many people. No shit, YouTube.
Well, that's the good thing about DLive is that you can, people can pay content creators directly,
Bam. So good, man. Like I said, when I first heard of it from Mr. PewDiePie, I was like, wow, you guys, the viewers, benefit from me creating content, and I benefit from me creating content. Get me on board. I love it over there.
And I mean, there's lots of options. There's chatting, there's music, there's art, there's all kinds of options.
As a viewer, you mean? So many different things you can do, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a streamer to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. You've been very good in the cap game this month too. I've got to give you props there.
I really do want to get some stickers.
Oh, really? It looks like you're what is it now? It's only the 9th of November. Anything could happen, but at this point, you're a ringing.
Tim could easily catch up very quickly.
Tim Barnard, yeah, the cap.
Yes.
He could easily come in and wipe the slate, couldn't he?
He could do it in 2 days.
He could. I tell you what, Benny, though, I love that this DLive exists because my content here on YouTube, and in particular these live streams, that, like I've said many times, they're not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to do this because I believe in it. But the DLive experience, as you've said, so many different levels and so many different things to do on DLive, whereas my YouTube stream, it seems like it's almost like it's set in its own sort of little, it's its own little thing. And I just don't feel like there's
for example,
go ahead.
This live stream, this should have been the first thing that I saw when I came onto YouTube, but I had to click on Gives a Minute and scroll down. And I don't think I should have to because I watch your channel often and it should be straight there.
Yeah, I agree with that. This whole, are you subscribed? Are you subscribed with the bell clipped? Are you subscribed with the bell clipped for notifications on? Is the bell clicked for notifications on from all your subscribers, or is it only for a certain amount of? That whole thing is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If I make let's go back in time and talk about the actual idea of a subscription to something. Back in history, a subscription meant you would pay a certain amount of money and receive something, probably in the hard mail, right? In the actual physical mail. So let's say you subscribed to a music club, because that was what existed back in the day. You make a subscription to a CD club, and every month they send you a packet of 10 CDs that they think you will enjoy. Kind of like the cap game in a way. Here's the music we think you'll enjoy. Are you telling me that if you'd paid and you made that subscription, some of them wouldn't come to you for some reason? You'd only get 4 of them. 1 month you might not get any, and then the other month you might get all 8 of them. It makes no sense. If you subscribe to a channel, I want to see everything the channel does. That's why I freaking well subscribed. And DLive haven't got that issue. They're like, well, you follow that channel, you got your notifications on. Every time that streamer goes live, there's a notification. It's so stupid that YouTube make it so freaking ridiculous. Like, so I can't understand why they thought that would be a good thing. The notification, the subscription, the bell, and the bell for all notifications, or just some. And there's an example, Benny. You just told us why it's bad. Go ahead.
It's a good thing your audience know when you're on.
Yes.
And they can tune in.
Yes.
And we are.
That's very true. And that's why you got to be consistent on YouTube. And on DLive, yes and no, but because it's such a small platform right now, I think there's a little bit of flexibility. But here on YouTube, absolutely, consistency is critical if you want to grow the community. Now, my community is, I'm pretty happy with the community. I love looking through the chit chat. I love seeing all the notifications and all the comments from everybody. But if I didn't come out here regularly, that could all go away.
Sure.
Yeah. Taser says his channel is in the gray area. Most definitely, they may get some ads sometimes, but other times they do not. Wow, that's sketchy, man. And Tim confirmed that a facsimile is a great artistic impression of your face, not a facsimile as in a copy of something. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, thank you, Tim.
There you go. They should run smaller creator competitions like filmmaking challenges and stuff for a chance to get featured and promoted. Yeah. That's a great idea, Taser. That's what YouTube should do. Are you subscribed? Do you have the bell on? Do you want all notifications? Are you wearing the yellow hat? That means you're totally serious. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Yes, exactly. Jump through hoops. DL Crystal Gaming, I think YouTube should put things back to normal. Yeah, just go back to how it was, YouTube. But I want to be clear. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm here on YouTube and I'm not leaving YouTube. But I am really focusing a lot of my time on DLive. I'm seeing the rewards from it. I'm seeing the benefit from it. I'm seeing the community grow. That's not to say that I'm not seeing a reward here on YouTube. I still have branded content deals that come through regularly. I'm still making content for YouTube. I just wish that they would go back, as DLE said, go back to how it was. Make it YouTube. It's supposed to be about the creator. It's not AdTube. It should be YouTube. Personal. Now, folks, I can hear my outro music rolling. Benny, thanks for calling in, buddy.
Cheers, folks. Have a great day.
And thanks, everybody, for enjoying the stream. I'll see you all this time next week on the stream and on DLive. Oh, that's we're out of time.